So a lot of people get hung up on this idea of what is the right thing to do. When it comes to life, plans, how to raise kids, what to do with the job, all kinds of things. What's the right thing to do, right? And this is a very problematic kind of question. It assumes a few things. One is it assumes that you could ever even figure out what the right thing to do is, and I think that's a problem. You won't have all of the information that you need. You can't possibly know everything. Also, when it comes to determining whether or not even something is going to go well, you have to have some idea what other people are going to do. And other people are erratic, and they have free will. They're going to do all kinds of stuff. You have no idea what someone else is going to do. And if you're really going to make this determination about what is the exact right thing to do here or there or whatever, you'd have to know that. You'd also have to know what these future events are going to hold. None of this stuff makes sense. You can't know any of it. And then the other part of this is that there's the idea that there is a right thing to do. Now, the problem with this is that there are different ways to evaluate something. Like right and wrong, good, bad is completely subjective, right? Most people would consider getting COVID bad, especially if you die, right? However, if you're the COVID virus, well, you are a great host all the way. You let them multiply inside your body. That RNA is spreading all over the place. You're coughing. You're spreading that virus. Very helpful to the COVID virus. Not very helpful to you, right? So if you're looking at good and bad, well, COVID is bad for you. Spreading COVID is good for the virus. You can look at all these different kinds of things. Wars, the same way. Like you might have, whoever is the wins the war says, oh, we did good. Whoever loses the war says, oh, this was bad. Well, probably the war was bad overall, but really who determines if it's good or bad is whose perspective it is. And almost all of our good bad evaluations, our right wrong evaluations, they all come down to this idea of perspective. And if those things, the goodness or the badness, the rightness or the wrongness of some proposed action has to do with a perspective, a deeply subjective perspective of a person, what angle are you coming from? Then there really isn't going to be any of this objective good and bad. And I'm not saying that nothing matters. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying what really matters is living in accordance with what works for you. What are your values? When people start to strip away their delusions, their false conceptions, and really start to get to understand the true nature of themselves, the world, their place in it, everyone else, generally we come to some pretty basic ideas that love, compassion, kindness are usually the best ways to go. Now that doesn't mean that any particular action we take, even if we are tending to be loving or kind or compassionate, is going to have an outcome that we want or that someone else wants. But you can have guiding principles, kind of like this, you have your guiding star, right? And you base it on that. Now you have to know yourself, and you have to know kind of what works for you and what doesn't work for you, what's important to you and what's not important to you. For me, my goal in life at this point is to promote, love and compassion and kindness everywhere I go. I do this at work with my profession. I try to do this at home to a greater or lesser degree of success. It's easier to get frustrated at home. I try to do this, at Kroger in the checkout, or being a little more gracious when driving on the interstate. And these are things that matter to me. And I know that when I act in this way, I'm happier. And I also know that on the average, when I act in that way, other people around me are happier as well. It's a basic principle. Now, for someone else, they may decide that what is really important to them is, fame and prestige and being a really big deal. and being a historical person. So maybe they're going to try to, I don't know, conquer Europe, or colonize the solar system, or whatever it may be, right? I don't think that's probably going to make me happy. I think what I need is a simpler life that's focused on spreading kind of love, compassion, wisdom, understanding. I really like to help people be easier on themselves, kinder, and these are the important things to me. So if you want to be happy, then what you do is you find out what's important to you, and then you just do that, and you leave the valuations of right, wrong, good, bad, or otherwise up to the history books, and you just stick to what you know that works, and do that with each action that you can. And those actions are right now, right here, right? What can I do right now? Is this action that I'm taking right now in congruence with what I believe, in congruence with what makes me happy, what I know to be true, or is it outside of that? The only way to do that is to be paying attention to what you're doing, kind of know what your intentions are, know what the decisions are that you're making. You have to be able to break out of the habitual cycles, because typically our habitual cycles don't lead us to happiness. Our habitual cycles lead us to the old kind of stuckness that we struggle with, for years. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more, keep checking out the YouTube channel, and I wish you happiness and peace in your day.